All right, guys, well, listen, welcome back to Peak's Peak. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than usual because first, I'm going to show you some stuff that's already happened. I've got time-lapse footage of progress on the build. We're going to throw that in there, and then we'll jump into today where we're going to finish up the walls on this project. Hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peak's Peak. My name's Lucas. We're sharing our hobbies on 38 acres in eastern Kentucky. Back up here on the equipment shed, and I don't know, I think this is about video 5. We are going to put up a header on this center run here this afternoon. I think I have enough milled to do that. I hope. If not, we're going to throw something on the mill and mill it out because I'll need that. But I have also one more run of girts to put along the top section there, so we probably will knock that out. I'd like to see those boards put in and headers across this center section here before I quit tonight. I've got some traveling to do. I want to get done what I can before I have to be gone for the weekend, so we're going to get to work on this, see what we can come up with. Been using the Bighorn, and what I have found that I'm enjoying about it is I come up here and I park it right here, and it's got, you know, the Apple CarPlay system on it, so I can turn on my music and listen to it while I'm working. So I think the Avett brothers is who are queued up, so let's get to work. On today's episode of Unconventional Building Methods with Peak's Peak Hobby Homestead, we are going to determine the pitch of our roof based on what we've got here. And while this is not my recommended method, it will work for what we're doing. I'll tell you what I've done is, of course, I explained in one of the other videos about how we didn't want to level out the ground because we didn't want to haul in a bunch of dirt just to be able to park equipment under roof. And so we're just going to have, you know, slope ground down through here. And I kind of eyeballed the elevation and set my posts based on how I wanted it to turn out, and to make sure if I ever do haul in gravel, that when we're done, that the bottom of our ceiling joists back here in the back are not any lower than 7 foot. That way there's never any like headroom issues. So I can bring in like 3 foot of fill back here if I want to. But anyway, what that resulted in is my posts in the middle. I drilled a little bit too deep and didn't leave enough sticking out. So I can only go so high with my header on these center posts. So I've used that as my lowest point to kind of reference and get where I want to be. So now I have to determine how high my front header can be based on the continuing pitch of the roof. So we'll stretch the string from the back to where it just touches the center header and to the front. That way we can get a continuous pitch and find out where the front of our header needs to be. Right there. Now, here's the greatest thing about this. Like, I'm laughing because, man, 4 years ago when I started my channel, I would have been mortified to show me using this process to build this building because I know it's not correct. But online bullies have thickened my skin to the point where, honestly, I just do what I want to do now. Because the fact of the matter is it works. I've built, I don't know how many buildings, and I never used this particular method necessarily, but I know what the end goal is, and I know what the end game is. So, as long as I can get there, I don't really care if somebody else has a better method or a smarter method. Now, I love it when people make suggestions because there are lots of things that I don't know and lots of things that I wouldn't think to try. And man, I have learned so much by people chiming in and saying, you should try this, or you should look at this product. Or, you know, over on our outdoors channel, I've been sharing some of my new firearms that I've gotten and ask for input on sites and things like that that I should look at. And I found all kinds of great ideas that I never would have known exist. So there's good to it, but I've kind of reached a point where I do things the way I want to do them, and people can like it or not, they can enjoy it, they can laugh at it, they can do whatever they want to do because it doesn't change anything. And that's kind of the great thing about it. But it takes a while to get to that point where you can be comfortable with showing some stupidity like this. I've basically done what I can do with headers for now because I don't have any more that are long enough. For some reason, I thought I had milled 6, but I guess I just milled 4, but I measured and I found at least 2 logs over there that are long enough for me to get my remaining 2 headers for the front out of. So now I'm trying to decide if I want to go with oak or poplar. Poplar is lighter weight and easier to handle, but oak is probably going to be stronger, and you know, it's the front header support. So I don't know. I mean, these are pine, so I think poplar would probably be fine. I might save the oak for some other project. All right, well, I just got a call from the wife, and she is home from the coffee shop, and she brought me something I'm excited to go get because we just started carrying a new product. It's called Next Level Energy. It's an energy drink syrup that you can mix in with you know, carbonated water and different flavors and all that, and they make some of the best drinks. I love it. When we went to the coffee festival in New York City, we were introduced to this company, and I was hooked. I have one energy drink a day normally anyway, and so I'm kind of all about it. So I invested in the equipment and everything to get that going. So if you're ever around Flatwoods, Kentucky, stop by Farmer's Daughter Coffee Company and try one of their custom energy drinks, and they can make it in all kinds of flavors. So you got basically every option under the sun, and they're good. What you got there? Look at that. Now tell me that don't look good. Man.
It layered good this time.
It really did. That looks great. All right, so I went ahead and mixed it together because they do the layering to make it pretty, but then I want the flavors mixed together, so. That is so good. All right, back to work. Well, all right, guys. We have walls framed up. All 3 of them. And, well, so I had a few nights where I knew that I only had like an hour to come up here and work. And I didn't want to waste that hour, so I came up here and worked, but I didn't talk to the camera. I instead set up a time lapse and just let it roll so that I wouldn't miss out on the progress that I made in that hour. But yeah, so I had 2 nights that's how I worked. So that's why you got some time-lapse coverage of the beginning part of the phase. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, I will tell you, it's a little bit different building with lumber that I milled because a lot of it's bowed pretty bad. And I'm picking out the ones that are the best for the places that are going to be visible and going to matter. But doing that means you have to slow down and you have to look at the lumber before you hang it. You have to take your time, because if you set your level on one end of a board that's bowed, well, then you're not going to get an accurate reading. And so I would have to measure the gap and things like that in order to make sure that we came out right. Now, when it's all said and done, I really think this building is going to look good. I don't think you'll know the difference, but it takes extra effort to do that. And I'm going to take the blame for that, for the way that I've been milling this lumber and not quarter sawing and things like that would give you a really good quality product. It's all, you know, kind of a learning process for me, but also just the enjoyment of, hey, look at this. I built it, I milled it. This came from trees off the property, you know, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. Now, as with this entire build, except for the posts, we're milling everything that we build this equipment shed out of. So I thought it might be interesting for you to see the entire milling process for the headers that I'm going to use across the front of the building. So we picked out our poplar log. It's a little over 16 foot long. We brought it over and placed it on the mill, and we began to square up a can to make the biggest headers that we could make. So we're shooting for 2x10s, and we will actually put those on the front and back of the post. So we'll be doubled up. 2x10s will be our headers for the build. Now, I generally just go ahead and put a header on one side of the post before I get my rafters up, and then after that I'll slide the next header up underneath the rafters and attach it. So the goal for tonight really is to get 4 headers out of this log, because I need 2 to go across the front of the building, and then I need another set of 2 for the center of the building. Now, our building is 20 foot deep, but I can't span 20 foot with my rafters, so I have headers in the center of the building so that I can actually stretch rafters each of the 10 feet, and we'll have a seam in the middle. So this poplar log worked out perfectly, and we got our 4 headers out of it, and I was able to go ahead and get those put up. So now we're ready for rafters on the building. It's coming right along, and I appreciate y'all watching. Until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation, because it's beautiful out here. Y'all have a good day.